There was a night when silence carried more weight than words, when the palace slept and fear stayed awake inside her chest. She wore royal garments, but underneath the crown, her heart trembled like any other soul. She knew the law, she knew the risk, she knew that one step forward could cost her breath. No army stood behind her, no promise of safety was spoken aloud. Only a quiet decision made in the presence of God. She fasted where fear lived, she prayed where doubt whispered, and in the stillness of that waiting, faith began to rise. When Esther chose to stand, heaven leaned in close. She didn't raise her voice, but God already knew. When Esther chose to stand, with nothing but a prayer, the silence became her arm, and courage walked with her. 3 days felt like forever, every hour stretching like breath held too long. Questions knocked on her spirit, asking if she was strong enough, if obedience was worth the cost, if faith could really carry her into a room where death was waiting. But faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I will go even if I'm afraid, even if I am seen, even if the answer doesn't come quickly. She wasn't searching for protection, she was surrendering to purpose. When Esther chose to stand, fear lost its voice. She stepped into the unknown, guided by trust. When Esther chose to stand, she placed her life in His hands. If I perish, I perish, but I will trust His plan. The doors opened slowly, the room held its breath, a moment suspended between mercy and death. No thunder split the ceiling, no angel called her name, just a woman walking forward covered in prayer, not strength. And the king saw her not just with human eyes, but through a plan written long before that night. Favor met obedience, grace outran fear, and what began in fasting ended in deliverance. Sometimes the miracle begins before the answer. Sometimes courage is the miracle itself. God doesn't always remove the risk, He walks with us through it. When Esther chose to stand, history shifted its course. One silent step of faith moved the hand of God. When Esther chose to stand, the unseen began to fight, and heaven honored courage born in the quiet of the night. If you are standing at the edge, afraid to move, afraid to stay, remember this: God needs courage that rises from prayer. When you choose to stay, never stand alone. Where fear lived, where my hands trembled and my thoughts wouldn't rest. The food was gone, but hunger stayed, not in my body, in my chest. I sat alone with unanswered prayers, counting hours instead of miracles. The mirror showed a queen, but heaven saw a woman learning how to trust without proof. Every breath felt like surrender. Every moment asked the same question: would faith be enough if nothing changed? I fasted where fear lived, and fear slowly lost its grip. Didn't feel brave, but I didn't turn away. I fasted where fear lived, and God heard every tear. In the weakness of my waiting, His presence met me there. Thicker than the night air, no voice from heaven, no sign to calm my heart. Just memories of promises spoken long before this moment, asking if I still believed when believing felt costly. I wasn't fasting to move God, I was fasting to steady my soul, to remind my fear that it did not rule me, that obedience mattered even when outcomes were hidden, that faith didn't need certainty, only surrender. I fasted where fear lived, where doubt tried to speak loud, but every unanswered moment taught my heart to bow. I fasted where fear lived, and courage slowly grew, not because fear vanished, but because God stayed true. There's a sacred kind of hunger that fills the soul while the body waits, a holy emptiness where trust begins to breathe. I felt fragile, but not forgotten, small but still chosen. And somewhere between hunger and hope, my heart stopped asking for guarantees and learned how to rest in who God is, not in what He might do. Faith doesn't always feel strong, sometimes it feels thin, tired and barely standing, but heaven honors the heart that stays in prayer, even when fear refuses to leave. I fasted where fear lived, and heaven drew near, not with answers, but with peace. I fasted where fear lived, and learned this truth: God doesn't abandon, and those who wait on Him. If fear spoke, I trembled. Not because I doubted God, but because I knew the cost of standing where I stood. The palace felt colder that morning, the silence heavier than gold. Every step echoed questions, my heart was too afraid to answer. I had prayed, I had fasted, I had waited in the quiet. Now faith was no longer a thought, it was a doorway, and I was standing at the edge. I wasn't sure my voice would hold or if courage would meet me in time. All I knew was this: silence had shaped me, but now obedience was calling my name. Before I spoke, I trembled, but I stepped forward anyway. Fear whispered every reason to stay hidden. Faith whispered, trust me. Before I spoke, I trembled, but heaven already knew my heart. I didn't walk in strength, I walked in surrender. The room was filled with power, but my soul felt small. Kings and crowns surrounded me, yet I carried the weight of many lives. I remember the nights of prayer, the hunger that taught me to listen. Now every tear I had cried stood behind me like a witness. I wasn't asking God to protect me, I was asking Him to use me. If my voice was shaking, let it still be heard. If my hands were weak, let them still obey. Faith doesn't erase fear, it walks straight through it. Before I spoke, I trembled, oh, but grace steadied my breath. I felt the fear rise in my chest, yet peace walked with every step. Before I spoke, I trembled, but God had gone before me. Yeah, I wasn't alone in that moment. He was standing with me. And there are moments in every calling when silence ends and obedience begins. No more waiting, no more hiding, just a heart choosing faith over safety. I didn't know the outcome, I didn't see the future, but I trusted the God who had shaped me in the waiting. The same God who met me in the fast was now holding me in the step. Courage doesn't shout, sometimes it trembles, sometimes it whispers, I'm afraid, but I'm going, and heaven honors the heart that moves forward, even when the voice shakes. Before I spoke, I trembled, but obedience opened the door. What I feared would break me, became the place of grace. Before I spoke, I trembled, but faith carried me through, and my voice finally rose. God was already there. If you're standing at the edge today, heart shaking, future unclear, remember this: God doesn't wait for fearless voices, He walks with trembling ones. stood at the door of destiny, with my heart beating louder than my name. No armor, no certainty, only a calling that refused to let me stay silent. The hallway felt endless, every step heavier than the last. I knew the risk, I knew the cost, but I also knew the God who met me in the fast was now asking me to walk. There are moments when faith stops being a feeling and becomes a decision. This was mine. If I perish, I will still go. If my voice shakes, I will still speak. If the door closes behind me, my faith will still believe. If I perish, I will still. I place my life into your hands. I would rather obey in weakness than survive without your will. I wasn't brave by nature, I was brave by surrender. Every tear I cried in secret, now walk with me in public. The prayers whispered in the night stood up inside my chest. I wasn't walking toward power, I was walking toward obedience. I remembered every moment of waiting, every hour of silence, every fear that tried to own me. They didn't disappear, they followed me. But fear does not lead when faith takes the first step. If I perish, I will still go. I will trust beyond what I see. If the outcome breaks my heart, my faith will not retreat. If I perish, I will still go. My life belongs to you alone. Let obedience be my offering, not safety, not control. Some victories are born before any crown is lifted, before any favor is shown. They are won the moment a heart chooses obedience. Oh, over self-preservation. I didn't know if mercy would meet me, I didn't know if grace would speak, but I trusted the God who never wastes surrender. And even if the answer was silence, my obedience would still be worship. Faith does not ask for guarantees, faith asks for trust. And heaven watches closely when a soul says, I will go anyway. If I perish, I will still go. If this path costs everything, my prayer will still After I stepped forward, there were no trumpets, no sudden change in the air, just the quiet weight of having done everything I knew how to do. My heart slowed down, like it was afraid to ask for more. I had already given my yes, already crossed the line of safety. Now all that remained was waiting, not knowing if mercy would move or if silence would answer first. Waiting feels heavier after obedience. I waited while heaven held its breath. No sign, no sound, no sign of relief. I had no strength left to negotiate, only trust beneath my fear. I waited while heaven held its breath, faith standing with waiting on you. The room felt still, but my soul was not calm. Thoughts came like whispers. What if this costs too much? What if nothing changes? What if courage is not enough? But courage was never the point. Obedience was, and obedience does not demand speed. It learns how to sit quietly in the space between promise and answer. I realize faith is not loud when it waits, it is steady. I waited while heaven held its breath. Every second stretched my trust. I could not rush your timing, I could only rest. I waited while heaven held its breath. My heart trembling, but still true. I had already placed my life before you. Now I was waiting on you. There are prayers that don't cry, they simply stay, they remain faithful. Even when silence lingers longer than comfort allows. I didn't walk back, I didn't take my words back. I didn't ask for a different ending. I stayed exactly where faith placed me, because sometimes waiting is the deepest form of trust. I don't need the answer yet, I don't need to see the door open. I only need to know that you are still near while I wait. I waited while heaven held its breath. No movement, no reply, but peace began to settle where fear once lived inside. I waited while heaven held its breath, not knowing how this would end. But even in the waiting, I knew you had not left. If you are waiting tonight, holding faith without clarity, remember, I didn't hear thunder. I didn't see the door swing wide. There was no sudden shift in the room, no sign written across the sky. But something inside me said, like a truth finally standing still, I realized I wasn't waiting for you anymore. You had been moving long before this moment. The silence didn't mean delay, it meant death, it meant preparation I could not see. The answer was already moving, while I stood afraid and still. What felt like waiting was you shaping your will. I thought heaven was silent, but you were never still. The answer was already moving, working beyond what I feel. I replayed every prayer, every tear laid on the floor. I wondered if my weakness had asked for too much, but you were never measuring courage, you were building obedience. I thought I'd reached the edge, but you were already beyond it, working through hearts I could not touch, opening doors I never knocked on, softening moments I could not control. I see it now. Silence was not absence, it was strategy. The answer was already moving before my faith could stand. I gave you my surrender. You took it in your hands. I waited for confirmation, but you were ahead of me still. The answer was already moving, fulfilling your will. Faith doesn't always recognize victory when it arrives quietly. Sometimes it comes as peace, as clarity, as rest that settles deep inside the chest. I didn't need to be rescued loudly, I needed to be positioned correctly. And now I understand, the waiting wasn't punishment, it was alignment. You move while we wait, you work while we breathe, you answer prayers in places our eyes can't see. The answer was already moving, when I laid my fear down. What I thought was delay was you arranging ground. I trust you now completely, even when I can't explain. The answer was already moving, your time even remains. If you are listening tonight, still wondering if God has heard you, remember this: silence does not mean nothing is happening. He is all